Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm up early. I want to try to do a decent wear test, demo, first impressions on the brand new Patrick Ta foundation. So I did get this in PR. I was super excited. I actually got an email before it was even announced and I was really excited, and it just arrived yesterday. So my package was a little bit behind, but the packaging on this PR box is absolutely stunning. They sent over 3 shades and the brush duo to apply. So I want to get into all the information, a demo, just see what it looks like on the skin, the coverage, all of that. And then I'm going to try to do a wear test. I'm hoping to get this posted today. So I'm probably just going to edit in the meantime. So as always, I will link this product down below where you can find it, as well as all the other makeup that I'm wearing in today's video. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. And if you enjoy these videos, please give it a thumbs up, and let's go ahead and get into it. So this is called the Major Skin Collection. It's available now. And in this collection, you have the foundation duos. It has a cream foundation and then a finishing powder. And then there's also a dual-ended brush. This foundation is a cream formula with a pressed powder to go with it. It has a medium coverage with a natural finish. It says it's good for pores and it's best for oily combo and normal skin. So this retails for $52. Now you do get 0.42 ounces or 12 grams of the cream foundation, and then 0.31 ounces or 9 grams of powder. So the foundation duos come in 24 shades. They're made in the USA and they have a 12-month shelf life. I will say from the shades that I was sent, I got the light medium, a couple different variations, and it appears to run a little bit deep. So I would say, looking at the shade range, it may have looked like there was a ton of light shades, but this right here is light medium, I believe 1, and this is the shade. So it looks a little bit deep to me. Again, we'll have to apply it on the face, but I want to talk about the brush as well. So there's also a brush you can buy separately. This is the Major Skin dual-ended complexion brush. It's $45, vegan bristles, and he essentially says to use this rounded side to buff into the skin with the cream, and then use this to set the T-zone where you use the powder. So I want to go ahead and swatch the foundation in light medium 1. Feels very creamy. And then the powder. So he did say the powder is lighter because it's really only meant for your T-zone. He said this is not a powder that's meant to set your entire face, only where you want to bring light. So your forehead, T-zone, and chin. I turned my lights down. So this is the shade light medium 1. I zoomed you in and I want to show you the other shades they sent me. I'm probably going to throw some close-ups as well just because the packaging is very reflective. So this is light medium 2. This one looks a little bit more warm. And then the last shade they sent is light medium 3. So they look a little bit deep in the pan, but I really wouldn't know until I put it on my face. I did watch a reel of him applying it and talking about it, and he said that he uses it very sheer. He can build it in areas where he has redness, but he likes to wear it sheer. But then I saw him use it on a model that did have redness, sort of more similar to me, and he did build it up. You could tell that it, definitely is buildable. It also does have the cover for the cream, which is nice to keep your cream from drying out. So I'm going to start out with the shade light medium 1. I really don't want to swatch the other ones if I don't have to, just because I like to donate and I would rather them not go to waste. So when I watched his reel, he said that he likes to start with a really moisturized base. So I used quite a bit of my Beauty Pie moisturizer. I'm like almost out of this actually, but I've really been liking it. And I did quite a bit, especially down here where I have the acne from picking at it. And then he said prime your face as well if you'd like. So I'm just going to use a blurring primer. I'm going to use this one from Elizabeth Mott that I really love in my T-zone area. So to apply it, I would usually use like a sponge on one side, a brush on the other, but I'm just gonna go in with the brush they sent over. He just dipped in with the round side, and then he just sort of buffed it on the skin. So I'm just gonna dip in. You can see some product. I really have no clue what kind of coverage I'm looking at. I know he said it was like sheer buildable, so we'll have to see. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom you in as much as possible. So I'm going back in There we go. Okay, so if you have, you know, stuff to cover like I do, you might have to go a little heavier. I'm probably gonna have to conceal this just because it is gnarly. I shouldn't have picked at it. Ugh. So as far as the way it feels, it's really interesting. It's very thin, like it doesn't feel heavy. I kind of was expecting it to be like heavy emollient. Definitely feels hydrating. So it's not one that I feel like is gonna wear perfectly all day, but it's thin. I definitely feel like this shade is a little bit deep. So I would say the shades do run dark just because this is supposed to be light medium 1, and I would say this is looking more like a medium to me. Coverage, I would say off the bat is pretty light. You can build it, but I dipped in, you know, many times just to sort of grab more product. The brush feels really nice with it. I'm also not smelling any fragrance, which I like. Okay, so this is what one layer of the foundation looks like. The feel of it, I don't want to say silicone, but it's very, very thin. It almost is giving like a mixture of a silicone tinted primer, but a little bit more coverage. It doesn't feel heavy. I don't feel like, you know, everything's sticking to my face. It's definitely emollient, but I like that it's not thick and it's not goopy. And I feel like the coverage is definitely like a light medium. You can build it or sheer it out. When I watched his video, he said he likes to wear it sheer on the go, and I feel like honestly that's probably what this product is going to be best for. I don't know if this would be like a full glam or if you have a lot to cover type of product. You can definitely build it, but you can just tell because it's a cream and it's emollient and hydrating, you can just tell that it's not going to like lock down. Now, I'm hoping that it wears decently. I do think the shades run deep just off my first impression. And I do think that it has like a natural skin-like finish. It's not overly glowy, but it's definitely, you know, hydrated. So I'm gonna use the brush just to really cover anything that I feel like needs a little bit more help. And then I'm probably just going to use a concealer for that acne because I just don't feel like this is going to cover it as much as I'd like. Okay, so what I'm gonna do next is just go in with a concealer that I love. This is the Too Faced Born This Way. And I'm just going to use this Zoeva brush. So Roscoe actually got neutered yesterday, which just happened to fall on the day that the package arrived, but it didn't arrive till later. So I'm doing it the next morning. So trying to keep a puppy calm for 10 days. It's gonna be a fun adventure. Okay, so my concealer is on and I wanna go into the powder. So he said the powder is lighter to bring light to the center of the face. So every duo, the powder is going to be a few shades lighter. He said this is a satin finish and it's very blurring for pores. He would not recommend using this all over, only in the center of your face. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I usually would use a loose setting powder, but I feel like this whole vibe is more of a no makeup, quick out the door. So I'm gonna take this side of the brush. First I need to get the creases out from under my eye. Okay, dipped in and I'm tapping off and I'm going to press and then pull it down. Okay, definitely has a nice blur to it. When you rub your brush in, there's very little powder kick up at all. And I feel like it definitely blurs. It's a very light powder. Now, just upon my first impression, I probably would not use this under my eyes. I don't know if I feel like it's brightening that much. It's definitely smoothing and mattifying, but in terms of brightening, I think just because the foundation shade's too dark, I probably need to purchase maybe like a light shade. I feel like this is just a little too dark for me. My concealer helped brighten up, but this powder even, it looks light in the actual component, but it's still dark on me. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. I would say the brush is really, really nice. Like for foundation and also powder, I was worried that the foundation wasn't gonna like stick to my nose and it was gonna get streaky, but I didn't have that. This really does feel very much like an everyday type of product. But what I like about it is the fact that it actually has coverage to offer. So a lot of times when I hear like no makeup or everyday makeup, it's like sheer coverage. And if you have, you know, acne or redness like I do, I just don't feel comfortable. I have to be able to cover it. And this was buildable enough that I feel comfortable. So I've got you zoomed in just to show you what the skin's looking like. I only set my T-zone. I would probably use like my loose powder for under my eyes just because I like a little bit more brightening. It could change if I get a shade that is not as deep for me, but I feel like it really did smooth the skin and it feels hydrating. It's not heavy, it's not gunky. I like that there's not shine in it. What I'm gonna do is finish the rest of my makeup off camera, then we'll kind of zoom in and see what things are looking like, and then I'll check back in later in the day and kind of give you an update on my thoughts. Okay, so I went ahead and finished the rest of my makeup off camera. I will link everything I'm wearing down below. I do feel like my skin looks nice and fresh. It doesn't feel greasy, but it also does feel like it has, you know, some hydration to it. I feel like it's comfortable because it's very lightweight, so I like that about this. Usually cream foundations just feel so thick and emollient, almost greasy on me. I'm not feeling that with this, although I do think that I'm going to get oily with this. Because I am combo and oily in my T-zone, anything that's not matte, typically I do get a little bit glowy throughout the day, so I do definitely want to watch for that. Now, the only thing I noticed when I was applying products on top was that I was having a little bit of lifting and almost like shearing out of the foundation on my jawline area under my bronzer. This is something that is very normal for me with cream foundations or really hydrating foundations, skin tints. They really don't lock down like a matte foundation. So it's one of those that I feel like is going to transfer. If I were to touch my face and kind of rest my chin on my hand, I think that it would lift a little bit of the foundation. So it is about 10 a.m. right now, and I'm going to go for at least 6 hours. I do want to upload this video today. So I feel like, you know, a good 6 hours, I can tell how my skin is looking, if it's breaking apart, if it's a greasy mess, if it's able to be, you know, touched up with his powder and so on. So I like it so far, but we'll have to see how this wears in the coming hours. So I will be checking back in a few hours. Okay, so I'm back for my final check-in. It's a little bit after 4 o'clock, so it's been a little over 6 hours since I initially applied the foundation. I do want to get this video live today, and of course I'll keep testing this out in the coming weeks and let you guys know my full thoughts. But there's a few things I'm noticing, so I want to zoom you in and kind of show you what I see. So I'm actually surprised that I'm not greasy and oily. I do see a little bit of oils coming through, but I don't mind it. I feel like my skin looks pretty healthy, so it's nothing that I feel like I would really need to powder at this point. But I don't really like the way this is looking from my mouth down. To be fair, I am dealing with some flaking and dryness on my chin area due to breakouts that are healing. This one is scabbing over. I have some over here. So I don't want to judge too much on how my chin area is looking in particular because I am just dealing with dryness. But what that tells me is this will cling to dry patches and any dryness you have on your face. I do recall Patrick saying in his reel that you want to have a incredibly moisturized base. And then I also recall when I was reading what skin types this was recommended for, it did not say for dry skin types. So that sort of makes sense to me. I feel like you really want to hydrate if you have dry patches or dry skin. I am actually shocked that this cream foundation seems to wear well on my combo oily skin. If I didn't have all of this dryness down here, I feel like we would be looking pretty good. I'm not really noticing wear, just again clinging down here, maybe a little bit of wear on my chin area. I'm not noticing a ton of wear, maybe a little bit up here. But really for 6 hours, I'm not noticing, you know, crazy breaking up or anything like that. I feel like it looks pretty good. I do want to take the brush that has just a little bit of the powder on it, just to powder next to my nose where I have a little bit of oil coming through. And I feel like that just calmed it down just enough. But honestly, I really don't even feel the need to powder. I just wanted to see on one side of my face if it really would sort of reset things. This is a very light powder, so I don't feel like it's gonna make you incredibly matte, you know, all day long. Like I said, it's a very thin texture. It does blur the skin, but I feel like it is still hydrating, so it's more of a soft powder, not like a dry down matte. So overall, I like this product. I do think that I want to try it out in the coming days and weeks, of course, when my skin clears up. I think right now my chin is just sort of raw and it doesn't look the best, and that's just my own issue. If you're looking for something that's going to be like full coverage, locked down all day, I don't think this is going to be for you. But if you're someone that's on the go and you just want something to even out your skin tone, something that you can carry in your bag, I like the fact that you have the cream and also the powder, because you can touch up any areas and then go over it with the powder. And I think both formulas are really nice. If you have dry skin or you struggle with dry patches, I don't know if this would work for you. I do think this is going to be sort of a median product that will work for quite a bit of skin types because it is that natural finish. It's not dry, matte, really locked down, and it's not overly dewy, heavy, emollient, greasy. It's sort of right in the middle, so I feel like it's the sweet spot where you can kind of customize it. And if you do have dry skin, you may be able to get this to work if you exfoliate and really, really hydrate your skin with super hydrating moisturizers, you know, setting spray and all of that. Today I just did, you know, basic stuff because I wanted to see how it applies on its own, how it wears on its own. So I think that's everything for my first impression and initial thoughts on the new Patrick Ta foundation. I will link the foundation down below as well as all the other makeup that I'm wearing right now. Do let me know if you're gonna try this or if you have tried it, and let me know your thoughts on how it wore and applied on my skin type. I always love to know what you guys think. If you're new to my channel, I hope you stick around and subscribe. As always, I appreciate you guys watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.